Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Source Wall episode 4. I think so. It's so. Yeah, it's 4. This is your boy
Episode
Kojay,
214.
214. That's right.
Wait, no,
And,
let's not skip ahead that far.
ah, such a beautiful number. And this is 44. Your boys are here.
44, episode 4. Am I right?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Talking about the
Yeah.
214.
Yeah. It, it's damn near here at this rate, honestly.
You feel so? Because I get a lot of people tell me, DMing me, that we've won and they're feeling good. I mean, I want the bell rung and I want the referee to hold my hand up and put that Snyder cut in my hand to add to my collection. Then I'll know we won. But I do like the enthusiasm.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I don't fault people for feeling that way.
Neither do
You
I.
know. I definitely don't. It definitely feels like the victory lap.
It definitely feels like
You
a
know.
battle has been won and we're closer to winning the war.
Yeah. But yeah, that is true. The war has not been won just yet. So.
I feel like we're the villagers celebrating in that no man's land battle scene in Wonder Woman. But that's a bad analogy or metaphor because we know what happened there. So I take it back. But it is that feeling. It is that feeling.
Yeah, I feel you. We're the rebels at the beginning, at the end of Empire Strikes Back. You know,
Mm.
that's what I would say. Even though, even though Luke, Leia, and Han caught an L, you know,
Or wait, what
the,
if we're past? What if? No, I know, right? Oh, you totally went Bryan Singer there for a second. All right, so getting that Kevin Feige image out of my head. Ooh. So I think we're
why are you
actually
thinking about Kevin?
because when you think of something, you just go down the list, and then you get your Tobys, you get your Jeff Johns, it just happens. It's like gag reflex. I don't know.
Well, you know who I don't like? Fucking J.J. Abrams. I don't like that guy.
Whoa, I want to jump into that. And but yeah, I think we're past Empire Strikes Back. I feel we just finished rescuing our people from Jabba's palace. I think that's where we are. I think we're in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
I
But
think I
Empire Strikes Back leads into Return of the Jedi. This is not.
Yeah, and I think Empire
They win.
Strikes
They
Back
win the
was
whole.
Snyder Con.
They take back. They take back the galaxy in Return of the Jedi, don't they? Not.
Yeah,
You
that's what
know.
I'm talking about.
So we're not there
We're
yet.
there. I know, but we're in that movie. We're not at the ending part of it yet, though. I think we're close to
I
the
guess.
end.
I guess you could say we're at the part where fucking. Where Boba Fett falls into the Sarlacc pit, or where that's what happened, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That
Yeah.
was Scott Mendelson right there.
Yes. No, he's not Boba Fett going in the pit. He's the guy who is about to poke Luke into the pit, but he fell in first, and he's like ah, and then you see the image of the tongue pulling this guard going down. I think that's him.
Only you would remember that part.
Thank you. I would.
Eh.
But yeah, he's like the first one to get swallowed, or second one. But yeah, whichever one went that's the person who said it's the assembled cut. Then Zack Snyder comes again and says the assembled cut was 5 hours. If I do say
Yep.
so myself. Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
so I guess
Ah,
back to a serious note for the viewers and everything,
mm,
Snyder did drop an image. He
yes.
dropped he we can now see the Snyder cut if you would like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
There's
just
a
a picture of it though.
yeah, but as evidence goes, that's a pretty good one. With all these disbelievers, even then they're saying it's not the cut. It's like unfinished or something. It's like, have you seen it? Have you seen it? No, you haven't until now. How do you know so much? Shut up.
At this rate, the debate is pretty much done for and over with. There really was no debate anyway,
Not in
because they
my
just
eyes.
really
Just a bunch of stupid people.
they just force us into a debate. But
Right.
I hope everybody takes this as a lesson
Mm.
that you do know more from your couch, from your grandmother's basement, from even your mother's basement, maybe your girlfriend's basement. Maybe you have your own basement. Hopefully, you have your own basement. But you do know more, even from your bedroom, than a lot of these dumb fuck bloggers, in film Twitter types, in film bloggers, and people that want to sit around and talk like they got sources and in the know, and then they can't even keep up with a bunch of fucking comic book fans with comic books in their hands. We're just surrounded by comic book shit, and we're shitting on you guys as far as the info goes, because you don't really keep up with this shit.
They don't
like,
care to
like,
even.
they of course they don't care to, but I'm talking to the everyman and every woman.
Mm.
I'm talking to the me's
Oh,
and
I
the
see. I
the
see.
me's and the you's that they
Mm.
have to believe that these motherfuckers is dumb. If you are in the know,
Mm.
even if you're just a person that's just keeping track of shreds of info from people, from people that you view as reliable sources. You feel me? That you can probably name, because they're probably people that you either maybe know online or see on YouTube or something. You can probably piece together where a lot of these films are gonna go better than the motherfuckers that are gonna be claiming to give you this info from Variety, Deadline. You feel me? All these comic book websites. These people don't know shit. They don't know fucking anything. We are right about everything.
Mm-hmm.
like we were so goddamn right. They're looking so fucking stupid right now.
Yeah, my page is all my receipts. All your receipts. We've been on point
One thing
since day
I'm
one.
proud about that I know I was right about. I knew that Justice League was supposed to be 3.5 hours fucking years ago. I knew that,
Mm-hmm.
and no one had to tell me that.
Yeah, that's the
I
beautiful
just
part about this.
I
This is
I
a
I I heard the rumor of the runtime a long time ago, and they said it was 3.5 hours, and no one wanted to believe it back then. And I was like, that makes sense. This is a Zack Snyder movie we're talking about. Why wouldn't it
yeah.
be?
Seriously.
But the BVS, if you want to count the theatrical cut, I don't. In
No.
reality, because if you want to count the whole film, it was a 3 hour film. If you want to count the theatrical cut, yeah, it was cut down by half hour, but it wasn't supposed to be really. That was just a cop out, another studio meddling bullshit.
Yeah,
So
that was a
BVS is
lie.
a
That
three
didn't
hour
feel
a three
real.
hour film, so it only makes
Mm-hmm.
sense that Justice League would be longer than BVS.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Because
that's just
look
and
how it
and that's
progresses.
just one thing down to the characters, the actors. You feel me? This was way beyond it existing. Like we had to prove so much, so much, so much stuff about this film that ultimately end up majority of it pretty much was true. Like 90% of it, we hit the nail on the head, and that's why a lot of bloggers, well, like a good amount of bloggers and everything, are swallowing their words and just copping out and just tapping out, rightfully so. There's nothing wrong with tapping out. It's all right. Like I dig it,
I mean,
but
yeah, don't
but
die.
that's why
Tap out.
that's why they are tapping out, because they know, like, it's like, all right, either I'm gonna tap out or they're just gonna make me look like a complete fucking idiot. Like, y'all did no homework on any of this shit, and I guess they will just move forward with that. You feel me? Like you said, Snyder shitted on Scott Mendelson, said the assembly cut was close to 5 hours long. You got John Campea on Twitter, you feel me? Like, I guess it was yesterday and the day before, him and Rob Burnett, you feel me, flailing like babies on Twitter, doing all types of mental
Yeah.
gymnastics. Even their
Oh
own
man.
even their own followers and viewers are questioning, their credibility
Yeah, I saw
about,
those
like, all
screen
right,
captures. Oh my
yeah, it's
god.
like,
Ouch.
what do you guys have to say now?
Yikes.
Yeah, it's like, really, ouch. Yeah, for real. Like, what the fuck? That
Oh.
y'all hurt? You okay? You okay, bro?
Oh.
It's like, they should have they should have just, you know what? They should have just did what Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers did mad long ago. It should have just bowed out, said how you feel about the films, gave Snyder his respect for one thing.
Mm.
You feel what I mean? And joined the winning team. Regardless of how I feel about him, he brought on Snyder fans. You feel what I mean? To the Phantom Menace and all that shit. Gave a platform and all that. He didn't use his own voice, but he knew, like, all right, I'm about to position myself for when, because this shit's about to hit the fan. So when it does hit the fan, they're not coming out there going to be like, hey, you see? You feel me? I wasn't talking all that bullshit for that long. You feel me? I switched it up. That's what they should have did. I should have switched it up long ago. Now it's
Mm.
too close down the line.
Yeah, yeah. Way too
Now
late.
everyone's on our side, and we about to start. Anybody's talking that bullshit, we about to just start killing you. For real, about
Yeah,
to start making you look very stupid. You feel me? Very, very stupid.
because
You
we
know,
remember their burn attempts, and they've triggered a bunch of us a few times, and many times, and that don't go away.
because they don't understand that we do take it at a level of disrespect,
Yeah,
and
we
that's
take
why
this to
I use
heart.
Jeremy as an example.
Mm.
Because some people don't understand that Snyder fans do take it as a sign of disrespect when you're disrespecting the man on that level. And what do we mean by that? At this point, if you don't believe the shit, now you're just calling Zack Snyder a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Before, earlier months on, or even way before, when it was up in the air, it was cool to have your criticism and have your stance. But once all the evidence is piling and everything, now is whether you actually have respect for the man as a creator and everything. You actually think he's telling the truth, or you think he's standing on bullshit. You feel what I mean? Like, you don't have to like his films or not to even have, you know what I mean? To come to that conclusion. You just don't. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like there are people that don't like his films that at least fell back and said, like, you know what, I was wrong. Dude is a chill dude. I don't think he's on some bullshit. I think he's telling the truth, and I'm backing him.
Ooh,
That's it. You
simple.
don't like we're not asking you to pray to the man like God. You feel me? But they had to understand that one of the big humps to even being part of the whole movement and everything was pushing back, you feel what I mean, on the attack on not only Snyder's films but Snyder himself. And
Mm-hmm.
for a while, a lot of DC fans and Snyder's fans couldn't differentiate the two. It took a while, you know what I mean, before we were able to
Wait.
even differentiate the two, because the goal was just to end the narrative completely. Like, we got to get motherfuckers to stop shitting on this shit completely, no matter what. That's the first step. We're not just about to just let you just run his name through the dirt and run his whole filmography through the dirt like that. Like, hell fucking no. We're
Mm.
definitely not about to let you run his name through the dirt. Like, you feel me? Like, definitely not. So once people, once things got down the line and people got the understanding, people realized that his name meant more than kind of even his filmography. So they're, all right, if you don't like his films, fine. But we're not letting you fucking run his name through the dirt. That's for one thing. Because you
Yeah,
feel
you
me? If dude
can't.
doesn't have a good name, then he's not going to be able to get work, and then we're not going to be able to see his fucking movies, and that's not about to fucking happen. Like, right there, you feel what I mean? So you can have your opinion, because I don't like Steven Spielberg movies. You don't see me ripping down Steven Spielberg, do you?
No, you don't.
Like,
If I spent
so
time taking down all the ones I did not like, I would have no life, man. And
and
that's no way to be.
with dudes like Cambion and Scott Mendelson, it just seems like y'all fake as hell, because y'all want to stand on, like, well, I like Man of Steel, I like this film, this film's all right, but then you feel what I mean? You're questioning his word. Y'all were also a part of spitting on his name. John Campion definitely said, "Oh, he needs to cut the bullshit." But now, right now, in the modern time, you salty as shit because he didn't cut the bullshit, and now you're looking stupid. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you like, without people realizing it, they're coming very disrespectful towards him, and they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to act like the fans don't see that shit, and they're not pick even their own people, the fans and supporters that follow him. It's like, all right, at this rate, you're just being disrespectful to the man. You feel me? It's either you just gonna take his word or not. At this rate, now you're just trying to question. The real question is, does Zack Snyder is he a man of his word? It's like, like, you feel me? That's the real question now. The way you're bringing it. You feel me? And if you're gonna bring that question now, we're really just gonna question you. Like, all right, motherfucker, are you a man of your word? How much shit had you said that was complete bullshit? And you feel
Right?
me? And you don't want to have that conversation. Like we don't want to have the conversation of how much shit Scott Mendelson and or John Campbell or so on and so forth. We can name a whole bunch of people that said that was complete bullshit versus what Zack Snyder has said over the
Mm-hmm.
years. That
Yeah.
wasn't, like majority of it wasn't bullshit. I be talking mad bullshit out your ass about mad shit. Usually when Zack Snyder talks, he be saying real shit. You feel what I mean? He don't be talking no bullshit. It's hard to even get an interview with him. What are you talking about? like,
Right?
so that I think there's a lot of deep levels. You feel what I mean when it comes to the salt, and I also feel like for the people that were the detractors of the Snyder Cut earlier on, you know, to give them the benefit of the doubt just a little bit. I feel like a lot of people jumped on a good amount of detractors. You feel me? Not based on how they felt about Snyder, but how they felt about his films too. And if you're one of those people, then I feel you. That probably sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
That probably sucked to be bombarded for just having your film opinion and all that. But at the same time, I hope like all those people at that time, you feel me, do understand that it was a really huge uphill fucking battle. But at least me
Yeah.
personally, like I couldn't even believe like how much like they were trying to drag dude through the mud. So, like I
No, it's
said, for a
true.
lot of people, it was hard to differentiate the two. It was hard for people. Do you feel what I mean? To see even some people that were even part of prominent groups like Fandom Menace say like, oh, they don't like BVS or Man of Steel, and then just take that and just move on with their lives, knowing that back then in those times, on top of that, not only were motherfuckers saying that, but they were also just trying to drag Zack Snyder. Period. You feel what I mean? So it wasn't just a thing of like, all right, we got to, like I said, we had to stand up for both. You feel what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And did things have to go overboard? Yes, they did. they had to go overboard because I feel like we were dealing with I feel like it was an extreme circumstance.
I
I
agree.
do personally.
I agree. It was,
So
and a few. Oh, sorry.
with that, well, I was gonna wrap it up. With all that being said, like I definitely hope everyone forgives the passion in the long run. You know.
Yeah, and I want to elaborate on that. Being dragged through the mud by these. I call them the opposition because it's a combination of people, 40 Club and other bloggers and so on and so forth. It's because uh, before I got super super gung ho with the movement, I was always for the movement, and then it was literally for me at the Schneider Con, the Zack Snyder Director's Cut screening events, when he said it's done, it's complete. It's up to them to release it, and he circled 214, and also how he treated everyone with such kindness, patience, and respect throughout the whole event. He was an amazing host, and just all that together told me he's not lying. He gave us the truth. It's done, and there is a runtime that was like the gospel. That was like the solid truth. That was the light. And it still is. And I've kept that to heart ever since. So if anyone said anything that contradicted it, I knew that they were on some bullshit. I knew that they were a hater. I knew that they had some other agenda. I knew something was wrong because that doesn't fit up. Because it says you don't believe the guy and you're calling him a liar. That's very disrespectful. So uh,
Yeah.
that there is no gray. It's either the cut, you're for the cut, or you're against the cut. Honestly, it comes down to that. Now, some people who are not Zack Snyder fans, um, if they say it doesn't exist, they're against the cut. If they're not a Zack Snyder fan and they don't care to see it, and they're like, oh, okay, there's a cut, they're for it. That's how I see it. It's like you're either in denial and you're against it, and you shame the man by disrespecting him on any level that contradicts everything that uh, goes to what he said and how he is. I just knew it was like black and white. You're the bad side or you're the good side. Easy. And then I knew who they were, so then I was able to cut them off, but also say my piece and spit some truth at them. not to say that I'm right, because this is really about the truth. There's no, there's
Yeah,
no, there's no person on top of it other than Zack Snyder, and then the people. Everyone's equal here. It's just that you can see those egos, those prejudice, those lies.
I agree.
Simple if they go against, if they contradict what the man said. So him posting that
And I
picture,
also say that
mwah, beautiful.
it was really hard, even reaching like a lot of people's humanity in a sense,
Mmm.
and even then, like to pinpoint it even more. What do I mean by that is it was hard just getting people past like all right, just ignore how you personally feel about his films. I mean, that took like a long ass fucking time.
Right.
Because there was even besides that, because even besides the hump of people just being blatantly trollish and disrespectful and also bullshit. Period. Then there's the people that just like I just don't like his films and I just don't really want to see the Snyder cut that much. Why should I want to see it? And getting past that hump, you feel what I mean, and convincing those people that like, well, it really isn't about if if you love them or not, but if you look at the whole big picture right here, does it give you a better understanding of why it should come out? Like, and then that took a while to get so many people to like look at the big picture, and I think it was because like people had to in their own way put themselves, you feel what I mean, had to keep track, you feel what I mean, and kind of subscribe to the Snyder Cut movement in a sense, and in a way keep up with everything that was going on. And as more things started being revealed, and things started getting bigger and bigger. You feel me? And everybody started getting a better understanding of it. A lot more people that were just on some shit like I wasn't a fan of his films, but you know what? This thing has really like y'all proved your point pretty much. You feel what I mean? Like they did, and that's the thing that I love and respect a lot too. That people are just giving it up on that shit. Like, all right, y'all did prove your point. Like we pushed against it for a minute, but the point has been proven, and I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like the point hasn't been proven. So fuck it. You feel me? Not only I want to see it, but I'll watch it.
Exactly. Everyone
like,
has
like,
said either I hope it comes out for you, or if it comes out, I'll check it out, or everything has always been positive. Even a little girl when we were handing out brochures saying, "Hey, see if you, hey, please help the movement or whatever." That's how we let it in. And then a little girl saw it. She's like, "Oh, I like Wonder Woman. She wasn't good in Justice League though." A sweet little 8-year-old or whatever the hell. Oh man, it was great.
yeah.
I was like, well, don't
See,
worry.
man.
Hang on to this, and she'll be back better than ever.
Yeah, and I think that's what's getting the real the real either undercover haters or overt haters mad the most is like all the people all the people that you can say was on their side, and pushing against it, not really in a hateful sense, but it's like, oh, I don't want to see it. The other Snyder's DCU films the other ones were garbage, Let's move on. Da, da, da. Seeing all those people kind of finally just buckle and just be like, all right, why not? You feel me? It's making all the true haters show themselves, and it's making them even more mad, like because they know that we proved our point.
Mm-hmm.
They know that it's past. You feel me? Like, oh well, you just want to see a cool ass DC movie, like it's deeper than that at that point.
Yeah.
It involved a tragedy. The studio did something really unforgivable with the finished product. Like it derailed a lot of things that fans were looking forward to in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not in a lot of senses. Like, and when you just say that in itself, it doesn't really mean much. But then when you see like all the images and everything, the things that are in the Snyder cut, it gives people a better understanding of what we mean and where we're coming from. And then coupled on top of the fact that Justice League was so trash. That was an abysmal fucking film. Like I have to
Ugh.
say that Justice League alone did like half the work for us.
I think it did like 70% of the work.
Like if
Cause
Justice League wasn't so fucking bad, it probably would have taken like maybe double the time.
yeah,
But
sure, sure.
that film is genuinely bad. It's genuinely like it's not like no one can really watch that film and say like, oh, this is just fans being entitled because they didn't get what they want. It's like, no, nigga. Why did you have you
See,
seen this movie? like, what is this? Like, I paid for this. I want
it's
my
like
money back.
I think someone would like it if they've never seen a single film before in their life. You know, if that was like the first thing they see. But
Yeah,
even
that
then,
was
they'll
like the
know
first
something's
movie they
off.
ever saw ever in their life. Yeah,
That's the only
I
way you
think
could
I
get
would.
by. Because
Yeah, I
that
think I
movie
would
was
agree then.
never meant to be mediocre and all the other technical issues.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, and the best thing is, in a bad way, I'm like, so this is what you guys thought were acceptable. This is what you guys wanted. It's like the studio made that film, which was wrong because the artists, the directors, the cast and crew, they make the film. You know what I mean? It was definitely a committee product.
No, it's deeper than that. It was some bullshit. And don't underestimate how many people know it was some bullshit. Especially
Mm.
people that are part of, the comic book community or the comic book fan community or fandom as you want to call it. People know it was some bullshit. And people talk about it and bring it up on their own podcast all the time if they're real. Like I've heard a lot of people bring up
Mm.
how how even if they don't like Snyder's film, you feel me? They bring up, and that's I'm trying to tell you that is the breaking point. That's why I say we proved our point because even if they don't like Snyder's film, people still talk about like how yeah they fucked him over, how they handled the process of even him getting rid of him and bringing on Whedon was terrible. Not only
Mhm.
was it terrible, it was fucked up based on the circumstances. Like they want to make it seem like people don't aren't paying attention to that, but they are. Like there's a lot more people that are in the know of that, regardless of how they feel. Even if they love Justice League, even if they love Justice League for people who do like that film, no disrespect, you feel me? And even if they hate it, you know, people do understand that that was some bullshit,
That's some
and
serious bullshit.
it is not a scenario of just fans just wanting something replaced. That shit was really wrong, And I've even listened to a channel Nerdrotic, and he was doing a stream, and he even said out his mouth that a few people told him that yeah that Zack Snyder was fired, and they fired him on some bullshit. You feel me? Like people have to understand and stop like using, and I believe that too. I think that's what happened. People have to think of this as kind of even the worst case scenario in the beginning in some senses that people want to think that maybe Snyder walked away because he wanted to uphold his integrity. He didn't want to chop up his own film. No, you
Bullshit.
feel what I mean? That's not true because Snyder would have never walked away and they would have never made him chop up his own film. None of that would have happened. They pushed out Zack Snyder. They most likely essentially fired him while he was wrapping up Justice League, and it probably had a lot to do with Jeff Johns and you feel me, Toby Emmerich and other people that were ahead that wanted to get him out of there so they can push the film in a different direction. This is what happened. You feel me?
Mhm.
And that's what I think happened. And
No, I
then
agree with
they
you.
pretty
Keep
much
going.
forced him out when he was wrapping it up so he couldn't get his Justice League film out. And then they pretty much reshot everything within a month and a half. Then that's
Ugh,
what happened. And then they gave us some bullshit.
that's such low
And
quality.
that's
Ugh.
why and that's the real reason why the Snyder cut exists and it always existed. Because they're trying to make it seem like Zack Snyder stepped down or he walked away during some fucking random time during production. But where the real truth is, he was most likely fired during the back end of production. When he was finishing that shit up, they probably got him up out of there so they can fucking change everything up.
Hmm.
And whether we want to admit it or not, in a fucked up way, I'm not even gonna say it was a golden parachute. It was a barbed wire parachute, pretty much. They gave Zack Snyder a barbed wire parachute in a sense. Like, yeah,
Fuck.
we'll just cover up the fact that we're firing you with, the fact that you Your daughter just passed away. That'll work.
They took advantage of her death in more ways than one, and it's all
Yeah,
disgusting and
that was
disrespectful.
his parachute
Ugh.
in a sense. But what happened? What happened behind that whole terrible? What was really going on behind that whole terrible, smoke screen? They probably fired him on some bullshit. That was
Mhm.
probably really what it was. Like you feel me? Like, and it's most likely why he does have the Snyder cut because the fucking film was done and it was on its way out. It was pretty much on its way out the door. Like you feel me? Like they were touching it up, finishing up a few things, and they probably just pulled the rug from underneath them. That's what I think. Like like
No, I think you're right.
and I know people want to have the fairy tale story of it, but I had to believe like there is a reason why there's such a fire under his ass. Like you feel me? Why he has such a like you feel me? An energy about him. Why he's taking this so seriously? You know, and it could be like I feel it could be really, excuse me, it could be about redemption.
Mm.
He could know that he was this close to getting that film out.
That can
You know,
yes.
and hadn't and I don't know if this ever even really happened to a filmmaker before in that sense.
Maybe in what sense? And specifically this
Is that
situation right now
being
with
that
him?
close to having a film out, like a film that big and that massive?
Mm.
Talking about Justice League, you feel what I mean? But let's just say if it was a Lord of the Rings film or a Star Wars film, you know, and even with that, it seems like that's why I worry about WB bringing on all these new characters and everything into Warner Brothers and all these new creatives and everything because it seemed like in the past WB was taking a lot of plays from Disney's playbook without people even bringing it up. Like did WB was reshooting a lot of stuff, but Disney was doing that too, and they were doing that before WB started doing that. So that sometimes I think like and there was even a whole trend and everything for a while in with movies where all of a sudden all these studios are just reshooting and taking back movies and retooling them to make them more mainstream, and it's like what the fuck is going on,
Mhm.
like and WB got pulled into that same type of that same trend for whatever reason, and it really backfired.
It's almost like they don't even trust their product.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to copy the competition or something.
Mhm. It's just like ugh. It's like very dumb moves.
Because even right now, like people are going so hard over these Rise of Skywalker reshoots and everything, and I don't really blame them because it really goes back to even with the thing of like Justice League being reshot. You
Mhm.
know, it's like why are studios like just mangling these films and like they you feel me they really can't even pin down a direction with these films and and it's a reason why people can't necessarily figure out why people like gravitate to Snyder as far as the DC fans go, and it's because we do believe that he had a vision and we believed in it. We think it was gonna work. Like,
Mhm.
and for people, they look at Marvel and like, oh yeah, it worked for the MCU. Why didn't he just follow it this way? But Marvel, had the opportunity of seeing seeing the whole comic book genre before then come, and then make the right plays, when they had their chance, and they did.
Mhm.
You know, when it came to DC, like they've been looking for someone qualified enough to even want to do that shit for a while. Like and then here comes Zack Snyder. You feel what I mean? He's gonna do it. He wouldn't. He before then he was already considered the comic book director. You feel me? Like
Oh yeah, he was the he in my eyes he still is. So
yeah,
yeah, he's
and
never lost that title. No, siree.
yeah, he took on that task that a lot of filmmakers and everything did not even want to touch when it came to DC. And he made it work. And it was great. Like, and You
He
know
made
he made it
difficult
work too
tasks
because
seamless.
as soon as he left, it all just fell apart.
Hmm.
And went straight back to the same old shit that DC films were always on at WB because there was no one ever there. You feel what I mean? To make that shit make sense. And
Hmm.
like, so I'm not saying that they can't do a shared universe now without him. Maybe down the line, every time they can't pull something out their ass. I'm not. They can, but I won't say it will be better than what Snyder was doing. But people do have to give, you got to give the man his due respect for that at least. Like, not only did he do it, but he did it without essentially copying Marvel. Like,
And with only his like, if we're just looking at his contribution, just 2 films, fighting against like what 22.
yeah,
If we're gonna look at, if we're just gonna compare apples and oranges, it's saying, it's just that wow, that's still a testament in itself. And the best, or not the best, but the most popular way to throw that down I've heard is just like, they're trash, and that's just such like a throwaway fortune cookie type of response. There's no thought, there's no real depth in that to even consider its validation
yeah.
because they know it's bullshit.
Wait, let's.
So,
Yeah,
um,
that's Subway.
yes, I was like, what's the next one we need to talk about? Subway happened, and a couple
Everyone's eating
other
Subway now.
sandwiches places. Yep, I had some. In fact, I'm gonna go back and get some more. I have my leftover in the fridge.
But yeah, that impromptu event went pretty well. Over 5,000 retweets and all that.
Mm-hmm.
How are we gonna have proof that Subway is gonna give all these sandwiches?
Yeah. Well, we'll
I guess
see.
we'll worry
And if they
about
fall
that
through it, and then
later.
they use the hashtag.
But
It'll be
something
good.
more importantly, though,
Ugh.
we will like to give a shout out to even Ben Affleck, RT Snyder Cut, Subway and all that, for
And
even
Feed
putting that
America.
together.
Feeding
And yeah,
America.
feeding America too, and all
Much
the
love.
people that that were so gracious to retweet that and take that moment so seriously, getting it done in under 2 hours. That was pretty impressive. Not
Very
gonna
impressive.
lie. Yeah. So we will get back to that though. But Chris Terrio, since we were just talking about Star Wars, Chris Terrio, he's writing the new Star Wars with the double himself, J.J. Abrams. And
Mm-hmm.
but for now, we will not stick on that point because he said that he'll be talking about the Snyder Cut in months to come.
Wow. I
I
wonder if
guess
my
he said we
prediction
can't
comes
talk
true.
about that now. And he probably
Mm.
didn't want to take too much attention off of, Rise of Skywalker in fear that he would get lashes from Disney. So, Kojay, what do you think about that?
Being considerate for Disney only tells the gravitas of what he has to
Well, not
say.
about Disney. What do you think about Chris Terrio and the Snyder Cut? Fuck Disney.
No, no, no. That's what I'm saying. Uh, to saying that he doesn't want to steal the thunder from Disney shows how huge whatever he has to say will be for the Snyder Cut, and the fact that he mentions Snyder Cut and brings it up just tells me more of we're gonna get some really big news. And
Hmm.
seeing that the pictures of the Snyder Cut, I'm having a huge feeling that we might get a little cinematic treat,
Yeah.
like for
I
limited
have a
time in
feeling that
theaters.
WB might be trying, like, the way, the way, I didn't hear him say it, I just read it, but the way he made it seem was like he was gonna he had some bullshit to say, like what he was about to say was gonna, I mean, obviously be good to us, but who knows if it'll be good for WB or other people behind the scenes. But I think WB might get ahead of it before maybe even Chris Terrio even says anything about the Snyder Cut. But I could be wrong.
I mean, that's a trump card in their pocket they have if they got it.
Cause I don't know the way he said it. Cause he said it as if like oh yeah, I got some shit to say about that. You feel me? Like
Mm.
oh, and maybe he could just be talking about the movie itself, but no, he could be talking to he could be talking about possibly some some snakes in the grass.
Oh, you mean like exposing some fools?
Yeah, because I think at some point, like, cause we're just not focusing on that, but I think at some point someone close to production is really gonna who has the inside knowledge is gonna say what really went down.
Mm.
That's what I think. It's really just a matter of time. It's literally just a fucking matter of time.
That is
Like
true.
eventually, I don't know who it's gonna be, but even especially if it's already planned coming out when it comes out, but you never know when it comes out. They might just have it come out and keep it pushing, and then keep everything, all the bullshit behind closed doors. But you also never know. It might maybe before it comes out, right before it comes out, or right after it comes out. People might be start getting thrown under the bus because
Mm.
we have to realize that hasn't really happened yet. We've been throwing people under the bus, like you feel me, as far as fans and everything. We've been throwing like Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns and Toby Emmerich and John Berg and all those guys are throwing them all under the bus. Like hell yeah, But the media hasn't done that yet for the most part,
Mm.
and the media has been conveniently avoiding the question of whose fault is the Snyder Cut movement. You know what I mean?
Oh, for putting us in
Who,
this position?
yeah, who is to blame for all of this coming to pass?
Ooh, they love that.
And eventually that question will be asked.
Do you think it would be truthful? The answer.
Yeah, yeah, at this rate, yeah. I think it's gonna have Jeff Johns stink on it.
It
It's definitely gonna
smells
have
of Jeff
it's definitely
Johns.
gonna have some Jeff Johns stink on it, some Toby Emmerich stink on it.
Especially with the track record. This isn't past stuff, too. I mean, look at Titans. He fucked that up, too.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Johns sucks.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know why. I don't know why.
Speaking of this, I was on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it actually. And some account, I think it was called Television and Movies.
Oh, yeah, I
Was
remember that. But what tweet per se?
yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find it.
But yeah, I don't know. Just because what Jeff Johns expanded the Green Lantern universe or something, he's like genius. I disagree.
Yeah, they have this obsession with this. I don't. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I really don't.
Are people that desperate to have something good out of Detroit for once? I'm just kidding.
Here we
It's
go.
it's an
Breaking.
old Laker Pistons rivalry.
Greg Berlanti, Ed Nafjet, Jeff Johns, and Mark Guggenheim pressure WB to cancel Swamp Thing. They want Arrowverse to keep going so they could keep on receiving producer credit and money. Their major go-to writer, Guy in
Ah,
Pink, was a sexual was fired because of sexually harassing women.
wow.
And he's an ugly fuck too. Here in an article
I lost
about the
my mic
writer
for a
who
second.
was
What'd
a
you say? Back it up.
I said oh. So here in the article about the writer who was a sexual predator, yet no one on the Arrowverse or CW spoke out about it. They all kept silent because they wanted money.
Oh wow.
I don't know. I don't know how true this is, but
Hmm.
um,
That is interesting.
But yeah, the person who said this, it seems to be standing on it.
Hmm.
Same source that leaked the Green Lantern connected to Arrowverse, Stargirl connected to Arrowverse.
What the hell is up with Stargirl?
So we'll see if this ends up being legit. But apparently,
Hmm.
I guess so. Apparently, there was some type of leak. I guess about because they have been running stories about Green Lantern being part of the Arrowverse, which is
Mm-hmm.
disappointing to say the least.
Oh, the new show coming out. That's what you're saying, right?
Hmm.
Gotcha. Hmm. Yeah, that is disappointing.
But yeah, and and the reason why I bring that up is because it seems like Jeff Johns is doing the same thing with the movies, where he's just using them to get pretty much
Producer credit.
get get credit.
Because producers make the most money back from the finished film. And a lot of people want that exec producer thing. And sometimes to maintain their spot, they gotta throw their weight around. And then if they're proven right, then that gives them a longevity in the next projects coming forward. Because people are like, hey, he knows what he's talking about. His changes made the success. Ho 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 ho.
Yeah.
Kind of like a manager, a dick manager at a store, who, puts the blame on other people to fire them, and then things turn around, and then corporate is like, oh, they're doing a great job. Let's promote them. Give them more money.
Wow.
Or
I
to
feel
even
that definitely.
establish their film as the core beginning of something that if any film to happen afterwards, they're like, oh well, if you want to see it all, look at the beginning. This is the true film. This is the true narrative.
Mm, yeah. So it seems like Jeff Johns is just using the DC IPs as a personal checkbook.
That's what it seems like to me. I mean, all this stuff is just, especially when they copy Snyder after saying his way is the wrong way, and then they do changes, similar to but not as great to what Snyder did, and you're like, man, you guys are hypocrites too.
Yeah, I feel that.
So then it points to the truth of jealousy, really. And control. They wanted it, not him. They want to be the head honchos, not him.
So what do you think is gonna happen with as far as the DC? Well, yeah, Wonder Woman trailer's coming out tomorrow. I guess the Birds of Prey trailer is coming out a little bit after that. What do you think is gonna happen as far as with the DCU and including the Snyder cut into your thought process? What's coming next?
Snare Cut, I feel, is definitely coming out. Wonder Woman Birds of Prey will drop, and then the success of both will tell everyone, okay, we need to stick to the Snyder style, Snyder storyline, Snyder timeline, or change the new stuff to fit the Snyder timeline, or they'll do two timelines, or yeah, it's just going to be that. Because I feel that the Snyder Cut is going to be so good, people will want more, or they'll be stubborn and then go the other way, and then see how long that lasts, and eventually go back to go, hey, let's do a sequel that honors the new Snyderverse. It'll be a reboot, but it'll be Snyder way. And you know what, Zack Snyder, you do it.
All right.
I feel that's
So
where it's gonna be.
where do you think Black Adam and the new Batman film fits into all this?
They'll do their own thing, and they'll probably last maybe one movie, and that's it. Or they will miraculously, and they could if they play their cards right. People would just be happy with the films, the Batman films as their own, and then maybe we'll see a Batflick one, but it'll be the Snyderverse. So I think it'll be like two timelines.
So you think Black Adam will only get one film?
Yeah, I think it'll get one film. It feels too forced already, and if it's leaving the Snyder verse world, I don't think it will be that great. I think it'll be good enough for one film, and people get, yeah, yeah, that's cool. But I don't know if a sequel will come out or if they will follow it up, unless they shoehorn it with the success of the Snyder Cut verse, if that happens, or when that happens. The Snyderverse I'm talking about. Snyder Cut's
What
definitely
I
coming out.
think is, I think they're going to be doing some major world building in Black Adam.
You think
I
so?
think they have to. I think that Shazam was not the springboard they thought it would be, and Black Adam they're really going to come with the kitchen sink.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think they're going to stuff the shit out of Black Adam. And they may only be one Black Adam film, but they're gonna try to build a whole universe and storyline around Black Adam if it works out. But
Hmm.
it's hard to say like because
Like a
it's gonna
soft
have to
reboot?
yeah it's gonna have to be good and yeah.
Hmm.
Listen, I'm not a huge fan of The Rock, but the one thing I can definitely say is that they'll try to force a reboot with The Rock. Trust me, and he'll be behind it. And when they
Yeah, look at Jumanji.
and you know they got the and they have pretty much Henry Cavill in their corner anyway. So it's like see what people aren't really seeing is that Henry Cavill is the Rock's trump card. You feel me? I'm trying to tell you like that he's really he's because he's in the DCEU now and he has Superman in his corner. So he could pretty much
Hmm.
use that leverage and pretty much swing the DCU in any direction he wants if he plays his cards right.
Or throw his weight around to force enter it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. And that's the one issue. As in, so yeah, I think they're gonna try to do a whole lot with the Black Adam film. But I also think that honestly, when does Wonder Woman come out?
I think that's is it July or August? Somewhere around
So it
there.
doesn't even come out till the summer.
Yeah, I think it's a summer flick. I think.
Oh man, that shit really got pushed back mad far.
Now that I said it, I want to look it up real quick.
But yeah, I look at Birds of Prey too. 'Cause I actually wanted to know when all both of these shits release.
I know, right? Oh, June 5th, 2020, Wonder Woman. That was close.
And Birds of Prey comes out in 2 months. So
Oh shit,
honestly,
is that close?
I think we'll have the Snyder cut before. This is just my just guesstimation. I think we'll have it before Wonder Woman, but probably after Birds of Prey.
Well, that fits me because I think it's coming out April.
But I think by the time Birds of Prey is out or is about to come out, we gonna know a lot more. That's a whole
Hmm.
month.
I'm already planning it. So I get out of work at 5, and should it be at? It's either at select theaters or theaters everywhere. If they do that, um, I'm gonna go to theaters right after work, and I'm gonna see that movie every day for its whole long run.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and do that if I can. That'd be great. I'm gonna see
So
the
yeah,
hell out of
with
that film.
that, do you think that's a good there's gonna be a theatrical release, or is it just you think it's gonna just be on HBO Max?
I think both, because The Irishman came out theaters, and then like 5, 6 weeks later, something like that, I forget.
It
It
was
hit
on
Netflix.
Netflix.
So that might be the new template for film releases now. Hit theaters, people get all hyped about it, and before people can pirate it and do shit online, it already hit streaming services. So you're like, shit, why don't I just go there for the quality? So this could be a new template, because already we got used to a template that things come out digitally a week or two before the Blu-ray home release. So this could be the new cinematic release of films nowadays. That it'll hit streaming services first and all that stuff, and then before it goes hard copy, still do the digital and then the home release.
Okay.
So that's
Word.
like a good way to uh, everyone gets happy, and they could get people used to options like, okay, do I want to see it in theater, or is this movie really worth for streaming services? So it's kind of a win-win. Unless they're trying to get everybody just to move over streaming services or digital, whatever. But it looks like it could fit that time frame, because if it's the April 20th film slate, then that's perfect timing for when HBO Max launches within that pattern.
I was thinking, how do you think it's gonna be announced?
That part I do think about. I have no idea. I think someone is going to do it. I think the right person should be definitely Zack Snyder. Second option would be Warner Brothers themselves.
Mm.
I think that would be the most honorable way. Either one of those two. I think Zack Snyder announcing it, or Zack Snyder announcing it with Warner Brothers. That would be a beautiful thing. That would give so much people hope, and there's a lot of hype behind this already. More hype than any director's cut. This could be a history-making situation where a director's cut that usually goes straight to home release is actually getting a theatrical debut. I mean, the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman had a select theater uh, run for like a weekend, and that was enough to make people happy. Even Reign of Superman and Death of Superman and the Reign of Superman, the animated ones, for the debut of Reign of Superman, they had a little event where I went to the theaters. Anyone could, and you watched Death of Superman. They had a 15-minute break, and then Reign of Superman started. That was cool. That was amazing. That was only like a weekend, but no, that was like, yeah, a weekend, 2 days. They had the
Word.
capability to do that stuff, and they have the hype to get enough people in the theaters for that. And that'd be a good promo and a huge boost. And yet, people going to theaters to see Wonder Woman, they get their love for Wonder Woman again as an amazing warrior and a badass, and not just this pushover throwaway side character. And then everyone's hyped for Wonder Woman in April with Snyder Cut. And then when Wonder Woman 84 comes, a whole bunch of people will just watch it out of love for their experience for Snyder Cut. Because they're like, thank you for listening to us. Let's have some more fun. Let's see this in Wonder Woman 1984 thing. It's just a bunch of win-wins.
Yeah, I think if they release the Snyder Cut before Wonder Woman 84 comes out, then Wonder Woman 84 could hit $1 billion
Yeah, they'll make bank.
because
And Snyder Cut
because
will help them.
they'll get a lot of fan support back off that. I think a lot of people that may have been like, fuck it, I'm about to sit this one out, might check it out. But right now, I don't think that Wonder Woman was gonna. I think Wonder Woman was gonna 84 is gonna round out where it was out last time, around like several hundred mil. But
Either way, it's all good stuff.
I guess we, I guess we do have to talk about Henry Cavill again, just to wrap it up with him.
Oh, this boy. This Henry
So
Cavill.
now that you've had a few days and everyone's had a few days to, I guess, take in what they needed to take in on the subject, from the subject of being what the fuck Henry Cavill had to say about the Snyder Cut.
Hmm.
You know, where do you stand on it?
Same as before. He's just like, okay, I was thinking about this earlier actually today. Remember with Greedo shoots first, the whole situation in Star Wars, where
Mm-hmm.
originally Han Solo was like, yeah, I bet you have. Boom! Shoots him right on the table. Doesn't waste time. Then the special editions come out, and then Greedo shoots first, and then Han shoots him. Greedo's holding him at point blank range, and then somehow manages to miss. Then, that didn't make sense. Pissed a lot of people off. Then there's a new version, apparently, where Greedo says something in, it's ad lib, odd ADR or something. He says something in his alien language that says, I'm going to kill you now. And then Han Solo shoots first. Or Han Solo shoots as a reaction to the threat. So, to keep him a good guy, or whatever the fuck reason. So there's that change, right? And a lot of fans don't like it. I don't like it, blah, 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 whatever. So a guy's interviewing Harrison Ford. And he asks Harrison Ford, so what do you think of who shot first, Greedo or Han Solo? And then Harrison Ford says, I don't care. Now, I think Henry Cavill is that type of guy. I think I'm not excusing it. I'm not damning it. I'm not shaming it. I'm not justifying it. But really are some actors just care about their job at hand to act and do a good job, bring emotion, make sense of the character with the story, show up on time, do the thing, use your talent, blah blah blah, go to the next thing. So I think some really care more about the role at hand, and if it's in the past, it's in the past. They like don't care, or they just do their job. And then you do have those other actors like Jason Momoa, or you can name several of them. Even like I'll even say like Stephen Amell, even when he was all hyped to get that Casey Jones role, he himself was a fan of the. I think he was miscast though as Casey Jones, but he himself was happy. He had knowledge of the franchise because he himself is a fan. And then you have other people who get roles and then they do their homework and they go, wow, this is a rich world. I want to dive more into it. Like Ezra Miller, he is so in love with the Flash that with his performance, I felt a sincerity and understanding of where the character's coming from and where he himself is. There's a beautiful connection. And it's like they go beyond just doing the job. It's like you go to a store and you get treatment from a cashier and it's the bare minimum, whatever. They do their job, they get the same rate as anyone else. And then you get the other cashier who really is really approachable, is engaging, is not talking fake, not talking at you, but talking with you. And then you're like, hey, this is not bad. Blah, blah, blah. This is pretty cool. And then those are the special people who really own their job and bring life to the project. Not saying the other ones are bad. You can do the minimal, but I think it's good to go above and beyond. So now saying that, I think Henry Cavill may be that type where he's like, career first, whatever helps the career first. And I think he's in that mindset, that bubble. However, Greg, given the grave weight of the situation, um, he's different from Harrison Ford because uh, there's a lot of sadness to why we're in this situation with the Snyder Cut because of the dodgy deals, as far as how they let him go and reshot his thing, use his daughter as a scapegoat, and not no condolences, and they took advantage of the child's death. That's so fucked up, and how they continued to silence it or ignore it. It's just a lot of ugly stuff that you do feel for the guy. People, when they hear that and they learn that, their humanity rises because they're like, wow, that sucks. They feel it. That's compassion. And I figure for a guy who became very popular because of a certain casting by the director, to have the director behind your back, even when you guys clearly seems like haven't worked for a while, to have that admiration from the director, and then you return it with a little avoidance, safe ground to stand point on, I felt that was cowardly. So that he could do better than that, and he should be worth better than that. But I think he's on some other thing. So I guess I'm not impressed with it. I'm not happy with it. That's his choice, but uh, he could have been you know better than
All right, well, I think Henry Cavill's on some bullshit.
that. In short,
I'm gonna I'm gonna let him be an actor and do the actor guy thing or whatever that Hollywood fuck shit entails, whatever, whatever. But with all that being said, he was talking some complete nonsense. He's talking about, oh, I don't know if a Snyder could exist, and there might be some hobbled together footage. It's like,
I'm
nigga,
still
you were
trying to
in the
process
goddamn
that,
Snyder cut.
right?
You're in the goddamn Snyder. What are you talking? You were on set. You shot the film for one thing.
Hmm.
Like like you're clearly just playing stupid and just playing all people's intelligence. It's like it's not. This is not one thing where it's like, oh, if you're asking fucking Ray Porter or Sam Benjamin, you feel what I mean? Like, yeah, I definitely shot some stuff like, but honestly, like, I don't know if Zach finished it. Like, I was, kind of, my name's not really that big in Hollywood. I kind of did my job and went on to the next job, as you say. You feel me? As you just said. But motherfucker, you're Superman. How you not gonna know? Like
See
Jay
that
Oliver
part?
would,
That's
if Jay
weird.
Oliver was at the rap party, I'm pretty sure you were there too, right?
Hey, that's a
Or you
very
heard
good point.
about it? They probably texted you like, "Hey, Henry, we're having a rap party. We just finished shooting. Want to come?" And sudden, you were probably there, motherfucker. So like, what are you talking about? It was a blatant lie.
He clearly did lie. I think he forced playing it safe that he came out cowardly, and it's disrespectful the more I think about it.
And then that the dudes interviewing him looked at that shit as kind of a lie, cause they asked him
Mm.
like, "Oh yeah, so all right, so when the rest of your castmates said release the Snyder Cut and you didn't, what's good with that?" It's like, what the fuck? Like, oh yeah, my mustache. I just missed my mustache. Like, man, at that point, I can't. You feel me? I can't say I rock with dude like that. Like, I was just the Superman.
Okay, Peyton
He
didn't say
did.
that. He seems phony.
He did a good job as Superman, but bruh, that shit was beyond cringe. You lied your ass off, bruh. And then when dude asked you like, all right, so you don't know if a Snyder Cut exists, but you seen your castmates saying release a Snyder Cut, but you didn't want to say nothing because you don't want to relive that. You know what? You don't want to relive Justice League. Like, what don't you want to relive? You're talking some bullshit, bro. And it's like, and I don't know who his PR public relations is, but he did a terrible job handling that. He did an awful job. And I honestly think he was talking some bullshit. And he was really talking some blogger bullshit too. I want to move on and pick up where Man of Steel left off, and I want to make films that are Superman films that are like the comics. And it's like, dude, are you a robot now? You keep saying the same shit in every interview, the same bullshit that everyone else did. Like, based off the comics, based off the comics. Like, it's already based off the comics. Like, what are you talking about? Like, does he
He should read
not
more
realize?
comics, maybe.
Yeah, does he not realize how fucking dumb he sounds right now? It's crazy. Like I don't know.
I guess
Like,
I'm still thinking about it, but the more I think about it, the more I don't like it. It's just such a disappointment.
yeah,
It
it
seems like he's
really
in a
is.
different ballpark in a different club.
It's like he just disgraced himself. Like
It's like, how could, and the mustache thing is weird. It's like I missed my mustache, and I'm thinking, the movie, his mustache was gone. We didn't even see the mustache. We knew it was there, but we didn't see it. We saw this Photoshop blur over a moving clitoris for a mouth.
he said some bullshit, man. He just said some whole
Ugh,
bullshit just to
doesn't even
avoid
add up,
answering
dude.
the whole question.
Exactly. That's where I say he's a coward. And being, when I say coward, that's like a huge insult come from me. It's not just throwaway. It's like pathetic. It's,
And
man,
I definitely think that's the reason why
the
Snyder
line
even
with the
dropped
cowardness.
the image of the Snyder cut that the day after because you know I think that
It was demoralizing.
I personally think that freaking
Henry's.
Cavill I think Cavill was trying to take the wind out of the Snyder cut movement and take Snyder's buzz and you know Snyder responded accordingly. That's what I think because it's one thing that everybody already said it. Like everyone, like then there, the whole main JL outside. I think Ezra pretty much said, back the movement. But and then Superman coming out of nowhere talking about, oh man, you know, I don't know if a Snyder could exist. There might be footage that be put together, but I don't know. Snyder cut. I've never seen Snyder cut. I don't know. It's like, bruh, you're trying to low key take the wind off the sails and shit. So in that sense, like I felt like Snyder did that to kind of play him. So it was like it doesn't even matter what you said at that point. You feel what I mean? Like because everyone was talking about the bullshit that Henry Cavill said for a little while, but and then after that it just went instantly back to everyone talking about the Snyder cut and how you feel what I mean. You can actually see it now. like so.
Oh yeah.
And that's just my opinion, but that's what
Because
it
I never
seemed
trusted
like.
his standpoint, anyways. Because he did say in an interview, he said it's not going to be any better than Justice League. That always had my cautionary tapes on Henry Cavill,
Yeah,
and then this cowardly approach, lying and trying to do a little body swerve, trying to be clever with his mustache. It was kind of like a body swerve, and also very narcissistic too, in a way, in a weird
yeah,
touch of it. It's like, I guess it's because I'm having trouble digesting it because I didn't expect or would predict such an approach from him, knowing what I thought his relationship and admiration for what Zack did for him, and the role itself, and the quality of Zack's work.
yeah,
It just seems like disrespectful. No appreciation.
yeah. Cause Cavill, just disappointment, man.
Yeah, it's a downer. And Zach knew it's a downer because he treated us with the Aquaman picks, right? Or was it the what was the post right after the Cavill one? It was the five Aquaman or the five picks for Aquaman, one is Batman, right? And then not too long ago, we got the it is real, it is done or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Hmm. See, Zach knew and he came back tenfold.
yeah, and it sucks that Henry Cavill had to get dunked on that way, but
The truth
yeah,
is
then
spanking everybody, man.
and on top of that, not too many people believe or even care if he gets another Superman.
I mean, yeah, at first everyone was like really supportive, like, no, don't recast him, no. Now I'm like, after what he said, recast a bitch if you have to. Sorry to say it, I'm sorry, but that was some cowardly stuff, man. And I really thought Henry Cavill was a good character for Superman because it felt like he embodied it. And One thing Superman doesn't do is betray his friends,
Yeah,
and he should know
guess you're
better.
right about that.
If he really embodies Superman, then what are you doing? You're turning his back on a friend. Come on.
Yeah, that shit was some bullshit.
Yeah, that's not very Superman-like. So, um, Nicolas Cage could be Superman for all I care.
Yeah,
That's a big
my
knock.
opinion on that is at this rate, yeah, I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I can't recast him. I can't wait now, but because
No, I'm
I
not gonna
can
say
care
any of that. I
I
don't
can
even
care
care.
less about a real Superman film for a minute that's not really picking up off of Snyder's arc.
Yeah, really, right now it's Snyder Cut. Give it to us. I'll let you know how I
But
feel DC after that.
based on how it's looking now, it's like yeah, why not just recast him? It doesn't
Yeah,
even
he's like
matter.
he's disrespectful, man.
You're talking about trying to retcon BVS and trying you want to retcon BVS and the Snyder cut and pick up where Man of Steel left off and try to do all this funny shit. One thing I do know, I don't want to see some fucking alternative veer off universe about Henry Cavill and The Rock taking over the Snyderverse and bringing it into whatever dumbass direction they'll be bringing it into.
Mm.
I don't. It's definitely not something I'm looking forward to seeing. I'll admit. They can keep that shit to themselves.
Man, oh man. So what else do we need to touch on? I'll probably get this video out ASAP, so it'll probably be out Sunday for all of you during the live stream of Wonder Woman or
But yeah,
Wonder
we.
Woman
I was
trailer.
gonna say
Was
we
it?
can talk about Wonder Woman, but we'll wait till the trailer comes out.
Yeah, we'll wait till the trailer comes out. I just want to mention it. I don't really care. I'm
We'll
still,
keep this one strictly on the Snyder cut, like always. But
yeah, but I
the
just want
list
to put a
is
nod there.
with the end it off. Um, in a perfect world, let's end it. Let's end this one in a perfect world. In a perfect world. But what would you like to happen after the Snyder cut comes out? What do you think? What do you think is gonna come to pass?
Uh, Let the other films continue as they have been, but if they haven't started principal photography, I want everything in a perfect world, everything reset to Snyderverse. Meaning, however Snyder Cut ends, that should be a new beginning. Bring Snyder back on, or give him his own thing, or just like have those 10 movies for HBO Max be all Snyderverse. Just let him have the reins to continue his story, and let him leave the man the fuck alone. Let him do his shit, and everyone's gonna be addicted. Everyone's gonna watch it because it's gonna be amazing, and because he's consistent with his work. I don't even need to say he's amazing. You all know. So he'll just have those 10 films, and people will be loyal as fuck, and people will enjoy them because they're gonna be great because you're gonna leave them the fuck alone. So with In a Perfect World, release the Snyder Cut. It happens in theaters April, then it hits HBO Max or streaming service, and then later that summer it comes out on Blu-ray so people can watch it at home and enjoy it and treasure it. Then all his films will be a new, because you can't do part one and part two after Snyder Cut because the Snyder Cut is the new version of that Justice League Part One, Part Two. So then, whatever he wants to do, maybe do that in another version of that in those 10 films. But those 10 films happen after Snyder Cut and continue that timeline. That's a perfect world.
Mm, I like that, Kodak. Clap on that.
Yeah, thank you. Your turn.
Oh, I actually have another question.
Oh, all right.
So, and where do you think the Snyder Cut movement, and not only that, where do you think events will go from here? Now that Snyder pretty much, he revealed the Snyder Cut still hasn't been released, but it has been revealed. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the debate has been shut down.
Mm-hmm.
We have tons and tons of stills from the Snyder Cut.
We're gonna have
What
to make our own
happened?
trailer.
Yeah, what's the next step? What's coming next after
The
that?
next step is still to promote it because we know a lot of those fools, those bloggers, those haters are still gonna go, even when the Snyder Cut comes out and people enjoy it and love it. They're still gonna say, "Ah, this thing's trash. It's Zack Snyder. What the hell? It's stupid. Look at this." They're still gonna be
You think
around, but that's not gonna be our giant force. I think we are gonna grow as a family and a fandom, just like there's a huge Jedi fan base for the ways of the Force with Star Wars. DC Comics is going to have the Snyderverse family of fans, and it's going to be its own thing. We're not going to go away. We're just going to grow, and it's going to be beautiful.
word? Do you think Snyder's gonna drop any more images from the Snyder Cut?
I don't think. I hope he does. I just want more. I want to keep the fire strong, and by the time this movie comes
Well, I
out,
mean, since he's actually shown the film reels, do you
yeah, it's
think?
like what post could top that, huh? Except
And
maybe a
at this
teaser.
point, like he showed Volko and other image, and other images with Aquaman and Mirror and all that.
hmm
Do you think we're at the point where it's like maybe he's shown enough and it's like negotiations might be really just full on
I
and we're just
feel and hope
waiting?
negotiations are ending or have ended, and they know how to they're gonna release a Snyder Cut to the point where the next post or in a few posts, I hope that we see not a picture but a clip.
Yeah, that would be dope.
That would pretty much top the
Oh
post that he
man,
did.
I can't even wait for
Can you
like you're
imagine a
right.
clip? 10 seconds
Uh,
of something. You know how many people just lose their minds, mine included.
yeah,
10 seconds of
I feel
something.
that. Well, I think it might be a good time to wrap.
Sounds good, brother. Well, I'm going to bid you all a good day, and 44 will too.
Yeah. Good night, y'all. I'm going to sleep after this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sleep in a little bit. Gotta get this posted, but yeah. We'll see you guys in the next episode. And remember, release a Snyder
Yep, it's coming. Tell your grandma.
Cut. And it's gonna be slap your mama good, so don't tell your mama. She needs to hide.
All right, y'all. Until next time.